Law of attraction, you've been hearing about it, yes? You get the sense of what it is? Law of attraction says that which is likened to itself is drawn. But something that most of you are not understanding is that law of attraction is across the board amplifying everything that is. So if you've got two things going on, if you've got a source within you that is knowing your value, law of attraction is responding to that. And oh, what a vortex that is. And if you're over here feeling not enoughness about something, law of attraction is responding to that too. So what do you think happens when two aspects of you have law of attraction pulling in opposite directions? How do you think that feels to you? Tug-of-war going on. That's what negative emotion is. It's you not keeping up with you. Now sometimes you say, law of attraction, just cut it out. Let loose of the other end. And we say, that will not be. The expansion of the universe is dependent upon that. That's why we can tell you that we are all eternal beings, because contrast keeps causing you to ask for more. And law of attraction responds to that asking. And all circumstances, events begin to converge on that new point of attraction. The question that this workshop wants to ask and help you answer is, now what are you doing about it? Are you keeping up with who you are? The better you feel, the more you can say yes to that. The worse you feel, the more you can say no to that. But nobody can do it but you. You got no choice but to keep up. So what happens with so many is that they can feel that they're not where they want to be. They know they're ornery or discouraged or disappointed or resentful. In other words, they know that they don't feel frisky, that they're more often disappointed. Very often they know that, but then some bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, sunshine, lollipop, gag, 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 gag person will come to them. You know, you create your own reality, they say. And you want to say that can't be true or you'd be gone. I'm sure that you would not be part of my experience if it were up to me. Because nothing feels worse than to know yourself that you're not where you want to be and have somebody else point it out. You know, you could be doing a lot better. And we're wanting you to realize that you just can't move from feeling really not good to feeling really good all at once. It's asking law of attraction to do something that it will not do. Law of attraction only gives you a very small range within where you are. But if you're always leaning to the outside, better feeling, downstream edges of the range of where you are, then you just keep moving your point of attraction and moving your point of attraction and moving your point of attraction until before you know it, you've got a much better feeling and much better attracting point of attraction. So you can tell that you're doing better because better things start happening. You can tell you're doing better because manifestations start improving. But the problem with waiting for the evidence of the manifestation to show you the improvement is that there's this buffer of time and the manifestation doesn't come fast enough before many of you get discouraged and turn right back around and go the other way again. You got to have understanding that you have improved your point of attraction if you feel a little better, and that has to be your dominant intention. The way you feel has to be what you're reaching for. We want you to take the emotional journey up the emotional scale rather than the, oh, I'll wait and see how I'm doing with the physical manifestation journey. Because the physical manifestation lags behind. And so often we see you. You have no problem when you're moving from city to city. You know how to get there. You can tell where you are because your journeys are quantifiable in that sense. But most of you, because of this buffer of time, have lost your sense of quantifying your journey. People will say, oh, yeah, you're happy, but just because you're happy doesn't mean you're on the right track. And we say, yes, it does. Yes, it does. Oh, yeah, well, you've got your head in the clouds. You're just sure that it's going to turn out all right, but you have no evidence. You don't know what you're talking about. Yes, you do. In other words, if you feel good, you are on the right track. And if you feel bad, you've stepped off your track. It really is as simple as that. But you've got to figure out, and it takes some work, you've got to figure out how to quantify your journey. And in order to quantify your journey, which means close this vibrational gap between you and you've got to leave the peanut gallery out of it. You've got to leave the opinions of others and what they think and where they are and what they're doing and what they're attracting and what they want about you. You've got to leave all of that out of the equation. And the only thing that you can put in your equation is how you feel right now about this subject in relationship to how you've been feeling about it. With your quest always being to feel a little better and a little better and a little better and a little better. When you allow the details of your life to help you decide what you want, and then you let go of the resistance and you allow the stream to take you to that which you have created through your asking, then life is as it is supposed to be for you. So an ideal situation would be, life causes you to know what you don't want, you know what you do want, you turn your undivided attention to it, you become a vibrational match to it, it manifests. Now you have a new platform from which to create. The contrast is still there. Contrast is in every environment. You know what you don't want, you know what you'd rather have. You expand, the source within you becomes it, you turn your attention to it, you become it, you live it, now you have a new platform. The ideal experience is not to let there be too much of a gap between where you are as you chronically beat your drum and who you have become. So if you are a chronic complainer, if you find so many things that are bothering you about so many things, do you know what that means? You're using a whole lot of things as your excuse not to be up to speed with who you are. If we were standing in your physical shoes, we would use every excuse in the world to be up to speed with who we are. And that's why we write book after book and spew process after process. And every process that we spew, and there are many and more coming, every process is a way to entice you into vibrational alignment with who you have become. We don't teach the science of deliberate creation because you need to set goals and think about what you want. Your setting of goals and your reading of affirmations, that's not how you're creating. You're creating through the living of life, through the knowing what you don't want and the setting forth of the rockets of desires about what you do want. But when you focus on your goal, you're more likely to be a vibrational match to what's in your vibrational escrow than when you focus on the absence of it. When you make an affirming statement of who you are and why you want it and what you like and wouldn't it be nice and isn't life good, when you make those affirming statements that are closer to being in vibrational alignment with that which you have become, now you're closing that gap. So, there are two things we want to say to you, and then we want to open it to anything you want to talk about. First, you will always be living life in the crack or in the gap. There will never be a time when contrast has not caused you to expand, and there will never be a time when you are immediately and instantaneously and completely up to speed with everything that you've asked for. And that's a good thing. That means you are an eternal being. You will never get it done. And the other thing is, you cannot get it wrong. And the reason you cannot get it wrong is because it is never done. It is never done. It does not matter where you stand. It doesn't matter if you have 27 illnesses that have been assigned, if they've got the tags already tied to your toes. It does not matter. Because where you stand right now in relationship to who you have become is all that matters. And you have complete control over that vibrational gap. But in order to exercise your control over that gap, you got to make a decision that the only thing that matters is how you feel. And what everybody else thinks about how you feel has to be really, really irrelevant. We watch so many of you. You are such lovely and well-meaning people. But do you know, you care so much about people's response to you that you gauge what you think and what you do and how you feel by what you think they think about what you're doing. And if you could leave them out of the equation, they're well-meaning mostly, but they really are the peanut gallery. There are too many of them. And they cannot hold you as their object of attention long enough for you to sustain any long-term relationship with guidance. So, we think you got that. You have some things you want to talk about? Yes? Many things you want to talk about. Begin right here. Stand if you think it's you. Further back? Yes.
Good to be here again. Thank you so much for everything. I didn't put my hand out this time because we don't have so much time left, so I thought I'll keep you for the next segment.
Good try.
I'm getting all the stuff and all the things. I think I missed out on one little part somewhere because things are coming to me, but as happy as I am, they gotta come faster than they do. You know what I mean?
And therein lies your problem.
But it's not there most of the time, but I gotta find out what it is. Even if things don't come to me in a month or 2 or 5 or whatever, I still know it's okay, but I think I gotta do something different to speed things up.
There are two things that are at the heart of this, and you're going to hear this easily and clearly, and we'll take our time until we're certain that you have, because a lot of people are right there with you. They get that too. So you understand that contrast has caused you to build this vibrational escrow. In other words, with every rocket of desire that you fire off, you have become, and there's this state of being that is constantly expanding, that is really who you are. And the dissatisfaction that you're feeling is the sort of crevasse between this that you know you've launched and given birth to, and where you stand in physical proximity to it. So when it feels like it's not unfolding fast enough, a very good thing for you to say to yourself is, I have created such a magnificent template or pattern, vibrational escrow of what I'm looking for, that the universe can't give that to me until I really am a vibrational match to it. And because I have become so specific about what I want, the universe isn't giving me stuff I don't want, stuff I don't want, stuff I don't want to coax me along the way. The universe, like me, is holding out for delivering the goods of what I really, really want. In other words, it's worth waiting for. Every time you notice that it's taking too long, you tune yourself away from the vision. So saying things like, it's worth waiting for, and it doesn't have to manifest this red hot minute, and things are unfolding, and I know I'm doing good, and because I feel good so much of the time, I know I'm on track, and I don't mind a little contrast, and the contrast is helping me to build it even more. And maybe in this not manifesting right now, I'm still collecting more data to make my vibrational escrow even better. And maybe I'm still in the process of building it the way I really want it to be. You see, imagine standing in a place in the middle of a manifestation that just keeps unfolding and unfolding and giving and giving and giving and giving, where you're saying over and over and over and over to yourself, oh, it's so much more than I even was able to mentally conjure. The universe has knocked itself out to deliver every little piece of everything that I ever even thought that I wanted is unfolding here and now, you see. You cannot be denied. You can't want like you want and line up like you line up without the unfolding of what you really want being in the wings of your life experience, in the immediate offing. But you cannot turn upstream in that by noticing that it hasn't happened yet or that it's taking too long without slowing the whole thing down. You have to find a way of being happy on your way to where you're going, not holding out to be happy only when you get there. Because if you're not willing to be happy on the way, you can't get there. Happy on the way to being there, satisfied on the way, proud of yourself on the way, certain that it's coming on the way, eager on the way. Trusting on the way, believing on the way, happy on the way, expanding on the way. So we'd say things like, it must just be getting better and better and better because I keep collecting more data. I cannot be denied this. I can feel it. I can feel I'm on the track of it. And meanwhile, I'm happy on the way. I'm happy on the way. I'm happy on the way. And those aspects that we know loom that make you feel less happy, think less of them and focus upon the ones that give you more reason to feel happy. These things are always true. What you feel and what you receive are always a vibrational match. So we will never concede that you're as happy as you can be. And we wouldn't say that about ourselves either. There is always more room to become more aligned with that which you have become.
So what do you suggest? Like, give me something that
I'm on track. I'm doing pretty good. I've got another 30-day extension. I'm happy most of the time. And when I'm not, I can feel it. I'm dreaming big. And big dreams, from my point of view, sometimes take a little longer. And maybe that's something that I need to work at in my vibration. But meanwhile, I'm sure that these things that I'm asking for are giving me a reason to focus that are going to give me payoffs on many other things. I have a feeling that my vibrational escrow is much bigger than I can even conceive of. And I know that law of attraction is responding to the vibration that I'm emitting. And I'm willing to use that guidance. I'm happy to use that post-manifestational awareness. In other words, I'm saying I'm happy, and I'm also saying it's not happening fast enough. So the manifestation that's not happening shows me that I'm not offering the vibration that maybe I think I'm offering. And so I'm willing to clean it up a little more and clean it up a little more.